Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of a payments-focused podcast for agents of AI. Our episodes are sponsored and associated with Capto, who is a leading AI agent creator based out of Bulgaria, serving European companies, but also companies around the globe as well. We do this podcast with our friends, our network, our clients, allies, basically all the above. So everybody here is an inclusive part of the Capto community. And we have a very, what we think is unique process for conducting these interviews and discussions, in that you'll notice our guest is anonymized currently. We will reveal their identity at the very end of this podcast and discussion, so please feel free to listen all the way through or make your guesses along the way. With that said, I'm thrilled to introduce Finn the robot, which is a nod to their fintech background. But Finn, if you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit more details about yourself, please, a reminder not to share your name or where you work. We'll save that for the end, but a little bit more so that maybe the audience could guess who it might be.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Peter. Thanks for the invitation. Great pleasure to be here around you. So, a few words about myself. Bridging my background with financial studies, math, brought me to the fintech space about 20 years ago, and since then I've been swimming around the payment and fintech industry, joining multiple roles across European acquirers, issuers, and technological companies, which helped me build quite strong presence and teams in the European market, LATAM, US market, and it brought me to my latest venture, building a next-gen payment ecosystem, essentially helping businesses reevaluate the payment stack and help them leverage and grow their businesses, and not only use them as a checkout experience, but rather as a turning point to improve their customer journey and customer experience.
Excellent, Finn. Well, thank you. And we're really excited to lean on that background. We do quite a bit in the payment space, and we'll be releasing this episode as a part of like a dedicated focus on other payments guests. So for those of you that are listening in, please take a moment to scroll back and look at the other episodes just as much as all the insights that you'll get away from Finn right now. So Finn, if you don't mind me kind of diving deeper into your background and what makes payments such an important part of your life, why is that the case? Why do you like, what do you like most working about in this environment and ecosystem? I often message this question as like, what inspires you or motivates you to continue to be a part of it? You can do anything. So why payments? Yeah.
Well, payments, I believe back in the days with banking, it was a bit dry topic, but with fintech, it blends very nicely technology and finances, and it enables us to think very creatively and outside the box how to move money globally, how to connect the world, how to make seamless journey and enable people to transfer knowledge, funds, communicating in different ways. And essentially, these nice blends gives you the creativity to explore the world in a very challenging way, because you see the world approaching payments in a very different manner, with established economies like Europe and the States having these legacy systems from banks slowly migrating to more modern technologies, and compare this to the Asian and African markets where you skip these banking legacy systems and directly jumping to more advanced technology or more simplified technologies. This blend really triggers the interest how we are going to be interconnected and what's coming next, because now we see a convergence of global solutions, not only in the crypto space, but also in the payment domain. Multiple solutions are being transferred globally, and that's a great challenge that I don't see getting me bored in the next decade or more.
Great. It's a very appreciated answer, and I think it's a perfect segue to my next question. And I'll add the context that when we speak to peers of yours, Finn, one of the things that they do share is that challenge of being creative and constructive within such a compliant environment or security rich environment. I don't know if I maybe stole your answer to the second question, but what is something that you then feel is underappreciated about people in your role within the payments industry? Like, what is something that us general people might overlook?
Well, compliance is definitely a critical aspect, and on top of it, I believe it's even another aspect more important than security. Because people trust their finances, and that's a critical area in our lives, daily lives. So security is top priority, and compliance is just another layer, making sure that whatever is happening is within certain understanding, and compliance is dynamic aspect. But overall, the figure here is how to blend compliance, technology, experience, and a very simplified journey. Because end of the day, we're exploring the solution of how to make it frictionless, like how to make it super easy for users, and yet comply with all these regulatory frameworks, all those technical requirements like 3DS, two-factor authentication, to make sure that you're the right person who is executing the journey. And there are a lot of advancing technologies bringing here simplified journey, like biometrics, facial recognition, which helps us, with a quick snapshot of your screen to execute payment. So we are getting there, but nobody appreciates what's behind the scenes. I think that's the thing that's being significantly undervalued. There are multiple stakeholders, multiple technologies, multiple legal requirements, compliance requirements. So it's a chain of players involved into a single payment transactions, which happens in a fraction of a second. So for the mass users, I think that's significantly underappreciated, the complexity which is required to bring a simplified journey.
Yep. Great. Well, if you don't mind me taking a little bit of a pivot here and an approach more towards the namesake of the podcast, which is Agents of AI, maybe you could share with us a story that you have of the first use cases or the first times that you started working with AI within your organization or within the payment space. Would you be so kind as to share some of what that looked like and maybe some of the problems that got addressed?
Even though I come from the payment domain, and a big part of my life has been related as well to sales and strategy and expanding the business. So the AI tools that we've been using are not only directly connected to payments, actually they're much more cross-usable across, I believe, every business, because I've used tools to optimize, let's say, the sales process, to optimize presentations, style documents, to generating marketing campaigns. And what we're benefiting, I believe, the most is building code. The technology, how to verify your code base, how to streamline integrations, for example, with new acquiring partners, how to make sure that whatever you're delivering to your clients is tested on multiple levels. And here AI brings us huge leverage, and it's not only to us, but I believe to everybody in the space. So there are multiple areas where AI boosts performance, which are critical for a business, every business, not only payment business. So I believe whoever is not benefiting of, let's say, AI or machine learning algorithms or models to scale their performance, to optimize their performance, would be lagging behind very shortly. So that's a narrative that I'm spreading across all the teams within our organization. So think of ways how to optimize your performance, how to bring this smart edge of being a human on top of a very smart technology. So my everyday push to the team, to all the teams, is how can you make your performance better with AI? So we don't want to substitute people with AI, but I would like people be the next level to improve themselves, to think in a more creative way and deliver higher value. So essentially, a blend of technology and humans would bring a very good value for everybody, and that's what we're pushing about, how to extract this value. And the nice thing with AI that it's evolving so fast, so you cannot say any day that you've used it to its maximum, to its capacity, because every day there is a new tool, new improved performance, new capabilities. So I believe that's also a very nice challenge for everybody within an organization, because there is no single point where anybody in the organization can say, I'm now good. There is nothing more I can do or learn, because
Mhm.
technology is pushing us to evolve faster every day. So we need to catch up. It keeps us, very savvy, being in shape, very fresh. So I think that's a very, very nice state to be, especially in a growing organization.
That's great, Finn. Thank you very much for that context and for sharing, a little bit more about like how you and your company are building in what I would describe as like an AI native way. But I do also think it's really important for the audience to circle back, and we make it a point to call this out whenever a guest mentions it, is the human element still being very important, and it's still being an important part of how you're building the business, even relying, so heavily and building with AI. And something that we really want to align ourselves to, because there's still a need for human value, and that there's still human tasks that can help make sure that AI is used to its full capability. So thank you for including that in your answer, and really appreciate the answer entirely. So in terms of somebody that is so active and has so much use in production and in deployment, what would you like to see next, though, or what are you building next, or what's the thing that you are grabbing for when it comes to AI? What would you like to see improve? You mentioned it's moving so fast and there's improvements along the way, but maybe what's something that you still haven't put in production but are really keen to get towards? Yeah.
Oh, there are a few things that our clients always ask us. For example, when they have complex businesses and they need optimization or to integrate with multiple payment partners and configure the optimal framework to accept payments in different countries, jurisdictions. They ask us, is there a quick button that they just click and everything is configured? And although we appreciate the value of AI, there is still no quick button like this magical button that you click and everything is just configured miraculously.
Yep.
So I definitely hope there will be a moment where I just can say, hey, I'm an international business. I want to operate, let's say, in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and expand to UK. Can you just configure all the relevant payment methods, prevent me from any fraudsters, and deliver me the highest approval rates,
Yeah.
and just click deliver? That would be probably the best state that we can reach. But we're still a bit far from that state. But we're striving to get to this moment. So I believe we'll see it sometime in the future.
That's great. Well, it's always important to have something to still strive towards, even though we're making so much progress and getting fast. So thank you for such a futuristic vision. Now, I guess maybe bringing it back to peers of yours that haven't been able to make as much progress or haven't been able to use AI as much as they would like to. I think what we've stated before is that it seems very obvious, and it should be clear to people, the importance of having AI a part of their workflows and a part of their life. But admittedly, a lot of people are struggling with that. So what motivations or advice or resources would you share for them in order to help speed up their AI journey?
I believe, like everything new, some people are just afraid of change.
Mm.
And every fear is tackled by addressing it. So essentially, what I suggest, and I even started with with older people, telling them, hey, just try something very simple, like ask a simple question and see the answer, and then it triggers your interest. Then you ask another question, and you ask another question, and then you get curious, and then you start asking more provocative questions, and then you start wondering, and then there is a point where it starts playing with your imagination, and it triggers you, hey, this response was not bad, it actually makes sense, why don't I challenge it with something more sophisticated? And then it's sort of a perpetual trigger that you don't see the end, because you just keep exploring, and I think it's like a journey that never ends, and it keeps you curious, where is the limit,
Yeah.
and you don't seem to find the limit, because I don't see there is a specific limit yet there. Of course, there are limitations, but again, progress. We see upgrades, new versions of the AI agents every few weeks. So if you keep yourself, I say myself, like, keep your childish curiosity
Mm.
and think of, let your limitations go, and just be open-minded, and ask the AI, or explore it in a way that you don't think it's completely rational, and be more creative. It will surprise you in a very nice way. So that's definitely an approach that everybody could take with small steps. Gradually, the magic will happen itself.
Thank you so much, Finn. And now that we have made our way past the what I would describe as the more intense or like business portion of the discussion, we have a few fun traditions to kind of close out the conversation today. The first of which is, who would you describe, or who would you suggest rather, as your favorite agent of AI? So this could be a peer, a fellow thought leader, influencer, or business owner. Specifically, maybe in the context of someone that you would like to see us have as our next guest. Is there anybody that comes to mind? And I hate to put you on the spot, but it's something that we love to do with all of our featured guests.
Definitely, one of the people that have been closely fascinating me for years is, in one of the businesses that I'm consulting for a number of years and building strategically, is the chief data scientist in the business. It's a super smart guy who drives AI innovation for a number of projects. So his name is Dr. Hristo Iliev.
Okay.
We will share the contact, so you can also tag him. A person who has been extremely active in the space for many years, and I've always enjoyed his lectures as well, about the difference between AI and machine learning,
Mm.
because everybody has been speculating with AI is everything, and when I speak with him, he's been more on this really critical side of doing it, and he's always, no, it's not AI, it's not a mystic, these are just models, and you need to train them, and then you need to train them with more data and more data. So essentially, AI is this fancy description, but it's not artificial.
Yeah.
It's actually driven by human, who invest a lot of thinking. They add a lot of data, and the combination of digesting this data in a very smart way, and linking multiple data sources to bridge it to something meaningful. I think that's probably the magic which we perceive as artificial,
Mm.
because far or too stretch for us to believe how it happens. But he can really describe it in a more human, approachable way, and bring us to our feet again. So that's
But
definitely a person who's been inspiring me for a number of years.
that's great. So thank you for such a detailed recommendation. We would be thrilled to have them as a guest too. So looking forward to following up. on that one. So, all right, the final part of the program, we talked about it at the beginning. Really excited to reveal your identity. Go ahead and return to your settings, and if you simply click off Finn, it should turn off your avatar, and we're excited to introduce you. Hello. All right. Welcome to a real human being that was behind Finn the robot. I've made it a tradition not to say that person's name. You deserve the full credit and floor to introduce yourself. Please share more about who you are and your background and real identity. And yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. So yeah, my name is Christian Drensky, the CEO of Morphine. So happy to connect with everybody in person, discuss all the topics that we touched upon today and many more. We will share LinkedIn, and yeah, we can also meet in person. It's not anymore robot.
Yep. So very excited to have Kristen as a guest who is also Bulgarian based as well, like much of the Capto team. So for those of you, and I know a lot of our followers and listeners are the same, so please make those virtual connections, handshakes, and real. We love seeing that. So thank you, Kristen, for being a part of the program. I know we even scheduled you super last minute. Kristen is great on LinkedIn. He's super responsive and super communicative, and we would encourage anybody within our mutual networks to connect and support this episode. Is there anything else, Kristen, that you'd like to share with the audience kind of as we wrap up here, or we'll leave it to the promotions from here? Yeah.
It was indeed a great pleasure, Peter. Thank you for the short invitation. Yep. Very much loved the concept and the journey that we did together with and Finn the robot is now part of me. So I love
Sounds good. That's great. So we will conclude here. Thank you.